DK facing a guy like DeGrom today, just what he's done in the league for so many years, and he's still coming in today with a 2 ERA. Like, what's so impressive about your offense having to face a guy like that?
Yeah, he's been one of the best for a long time. Obviously the stuff, the velo, the command, his arsenal, the way, just everything. He's really tough, obviously, and just puts it all together, and he's having another great year.
What are you hoping to see out of your offense and just the way they attack him? Is this a balance of patience? Is this being aggressive right off the bat? How do you approach a guy with his stuff?
Yeah, I think what we did with Scooble yesterday was pretty impressive. Driving the pitch count up and finding ways to get guys on base. And I think we need to take a solid team approach, like we did yesterday against Scooble, and then like we did in the 10th inning yesterday, of that team type at bats and finding ways to just keep moving forward. Not trying to do too much like we talked about. And the guys did a great job of that yesterday late in the game.
Last 3 starts for Burrow have been pretty clean compared to the first 2. What's different?
He's continued to get better, as we've talked about him slowing things down, and those first 2 starts, it kind of got away from him early, and then finding ways to, especially in Chicago, that's a really good team, good lineup, tough environment, and he's continued to get better, continued to slow things down, and find ways to attack, especially with his changeup, has been a big key for him.
What about the fastball? What about getting the fastball in good working order? If he does that, what then is the potential?
Yeah, command the fastball. I think that when he gets the fastball to that glove side and can command that out there and then run his changeup off of it, the times that we've seen him get in trouble is when he's fallen behind, and I think it's been both fastball and changeup. Changeup is a key to open up that heater.
DK, when you explained last night why you had Scheme start the second game, but how much consideration did you give having a potential Scheme School matchup, and how much did you think about not just the matchup itself, but perhaps the entertainment value and what it means to the greater good of baseball?
Yeah, we did, and I think that for us as a group, yes, we care about the game and everything, but we care about our team and our players, and felt like that was the best thing for Paul Skeens, and Heaney was ready to go game 1, and felt that was the best opportunity for our guys to be prepared for each individual game.
The other part was the Paul's ERA in day games is unbelievable. How much does that factor into the decision making as well? Because he seems to even be better in day games than night games.
Paul would be ready anytime, but just when we sit down after a game and talk through it and find ways to what is best for our players is what ultimately went into that decision of deciding who to start in which game.
Is there a part of you that the fan in you wanted to see that?
Of Skeens and Scooble? I mean, yes, for it, I guess when you're sitting there thinking about it, and honestly, when we were talking about it, we didn't really even discuss, it was all about the players and what was best for the individual players on our team.
DK, I wanted to ask quickly, a guy like Triolo, when you see the power in his bat come off, the stuff that he has in there, have you noticed a pattern in that at all, whether it's just a matter of consistency and you could see that more and just getting him in the lineup as much as possible, or have you noticed more of an approach he's taken this year to find that?
Yeah, he's been doing good in adjusting and finding ways to get better, and I think that when we sit there and we talk about, his, the way he's hit the ball this year, maybe the numbers haven't lined up exactly with how you would think they would, because he's hit the ball pretty well and has had some bad luck, so to speak, but now you're starting to see him find some results, and to be able to hit a ball out to center field yesterday, that was really impressive.
What does Cruz need to do to make more consistent contact?
He's in between right now. It just seems like he's not on either. He's not on the fastball, he's not on the off speed, and we need to get him back to that timing of being ready to hit early and not going up there. I think that sometimes he's getting caught in between and maybe looking for pitches as opposed to just going up there and seeing the ball and hitting the ball. And I think that sometimes as a hitter, looking back, when you get caught in that moment, you're trying to see the ball so well that your timing is all off and you start getting beat, because we see him getting beat by fastballs where he's fouling it off the other way and then being sometimes out in front on the off speed. Just trying to find that consistent timing to be on the fastball and be ready for that so that he can handle both.
Are guys taught to sit on the fastball and adjust to everything else, or is that change as things have changed?
I think it depends on the hitter. You know, when you talk about a guy like Kutch, who's been around so long, that knows what teams are going to try to do and has, you know, the career and the history that he's got, he's learned how to do that. Maybe a guy like Cruz that's younger, you know, has to get back to staying on the fastball and adjusting to the off speed. And as he continues to get at bats, he can learn how to sit on pitches. You know, I think it's hitter by hitter, but I think experience plays into that a lot.
Did you ever face DeGrom anywhere along the line, spring training or anything?
Yeah,
I know you made that trip to Port St. Lucie.
I did, and Brownie just asked me about it. I think I faced him one time when I was with the Marlins in New York. I don't think we should talk about that.
I think we should.
You can look that up, John.
I know. I have a computer now, it's great.
Hey Donnie, going back to yesterday, I'm sure you'd rather not have your players have incidents in the stands and the frustration that came out of that, but does that show you something about the level of engagement or the level of care or something? You know, where you guys are at in the standings, a long day, a doubleheader, end of it, and there's still like emotion bubbling through. Do you get any read on that?
Well, that's a tough question, I think, because I don't, in regards to the stands, and this is something that, you know, everybody in here knows Dennis Santana and how cool, calm, collected he is and what type of guy he is. And I think that as a player, looking back on my career, when you go on the road, you expect ribbing, you expect certain things to happen from a fan standpoint, but there's a certain line that you can go up to. And from my understanding, the line was crossed yesterday. And I think it's two different things. When we're talking about the stands and what happens there, that's not something that, you know, I know that Dennis talked, you know, maybe regrets a little bit about what happened, but with the line being crossed, and we're going to move forward from that. I think that what I'm proud of is the way we came off a tough road trip. We're going to Chicago, we're going to Detroit, we're playing against two really good teams, and to have that fight on the field, to compete in that moment of, you know, finishing that game and that road trip and that series against those teams, that's what I'm proud of how they responded, especially after a rain delay in ninth inning. You know, Santana comes out of the bullpen and we've got a chance to win a game. That can be a time where guys get frustrated and we don't finish that game. And to come out with the fight that we had in the 10th inning and finish a game that way, like that's what I was proud of from yesterday, but also from the road trip, because the Cubs are a really good team, you know, and to be in all four of those games and find a way against the Tigers after two tough games, really impressive for me.
I know it was fresh yesterday. Have you heard more about what happened between Tommy and the fans?
We're still gathering information on everything from Tommy and, you know, everything that happened. Hostile environment, you know, to see Detroit, I mean, it was an exciting environment, and I think that the fans felt that too, from everything that I've gotten. It maybe got a little overboard at times. Like I said, you expect that on the road. You expect fans to be passionate and support their home team, but there's a line that needs to be held, and I'm not sure that line was held yesterday.
Tony, I know it wasn't his day yesterday, but what has Andrew Heaney meant to your team here this year?
A lot. You know, when you sit there and you look at how he's competed, how he's pitched, what he's meant to our rotation, and just the career he's had, and he's continued to do that for us this year. You know, I can't say enough great things about him, and what he's brought on the field, off the field, as a veteran type guy for us has been great.